Hello, I'm Rob Thomas with Club and Resort Business, and this is another episode of Club and Resort Talks. Today's episode is sponsored by Texacraft. Texacraft has been an outdoor commercial furniture leader since 1975. For more than 40 years, they've been a trusted and reliable source for country clubs and resorts. Texacraft is committed to not only providing a quality product, but a quality experience for all customers. They don't just take pride in what they do, they take pride in how they do it. Learn more at texacraft.com. With that taken care of, let me introduce you to Phil Keren, our senior editor. Phil, how's it going?
I'm doing well, Rob. How are you?
No complaints, Phil.
Good.
What are you seeing in the news?
Well, today I thought we'd kind of focus on big projects, big long-term projects that are happening at some clubs, actually in various spots around the country. So first, we'll go with Great Hills Country Club in Austin, Texas. We had a story this week on clubandresortbusiness.com about members there had approved a $22.3 million golf course and clubhouse enhancement project. Includes replacing a 50-year-old irrigation system. It's also establishing a task force on golf course sustainability and playability to develop a long-term plan for the golf course. I thought that was interesting, Rob, because we've seen a lot of things about sustainability and playability as far as golf courses and what clubs are looking to do with their layouts. Greens, bunkers, and the practice facility are going to be upgraded in this plan. Also, they're going to there's conceptual plans in place to create a quiet dining space, a casual family bistro, a new outdoor bar, and a children's playscape area. So, in addition to sustainability and playability, I noticed a couple other themes of clubs trying to be more family friendly with the family bistro and the children's playscape area. But I did think the task force was interesting, and they've brought in a committee that started looking at the task force. They brought in a gentleman named Curtis Terrell to be project manager with the golf. He's got more than 3 decades of experience with golf course management and renovation, and he's going to work with creating a plan to ensure water security while also addressing members' course concerns. And they're also going to be doing things with water sustainability, and we know in that part of the country that's a big issue. So good to see that the club's doing a lot with that as well. As far as water security is not a term we've heard a lot in relation to golf courses. Sustainability, I feel like, is more what we've been hearing, Rob. But it's good to see that Great Hills Country Club is putting together a long-term plan as it relates to water and access to water.
Yeah, Curtis was a longtime director of agronomy superintendent down in Arizona, I believe Desert Mountain, perhaps. So he knows a thing or two about operating in water restricted areas. And of course, Austin, Texas does not get an overabundance of rain. I also noticed in that particular story that, and there's a couple of images or renderings if you're curious to see what it's going to look like, but they're also going to address their racket community, which is growing. We always talk about that with, I think, 4 new tennis courts and 8 new pickleball courts. So a lot going on at Great Hills, and I think they're calling it Great Hills 2030 or something like that, because it's a plan. It's going to take 5-6 years to get everything taken care of. But good on them to really address all the water concerns ahead of time and do their best.
Absolutely. And yeah, definitely a full-scale master plan style kind of project going on there. So it'll be great to see what comes of that once it's finished. Moving over to let's see, out a little further west in Colorado, Glenmore Country Club in Cherry Hills Village, Colorado. They're embarking on a $35 million renovation of their 46,000 square foot clubhouse. They're going to expand the clubhouse by about 10,000 square feet. They're also looking to build a new pro shop, expand the fitness center, add pickleball courts. There's that one again, and include some structural upgrades. Project is part of a bigger trend that they've had there at Glenmore, which they did a $4 million pool and patio remodel in 2019, and an $8 million golf course renovation, which included a new irrigation system and updated greens. Did that last year. So I thought that was interesting to notice too. It's interesting to notice too, Rob, regardless of what part of the country, and we're seeing a lot more of these sort of large scale projects, seeing some similar types of things happening. Of course, the pickleball courts, as we mentioned. But one I wanted to mention too that we haven't talked a lot about here is they're doing an expanded fitness center, and I feel like I've seen quite a few of those happening now, where um, clubs are starting to recognize the importance of having a top of the line fitness center at their club. I think for us here living in the northern part of the country, it's helpful to have a fitness center at your club because then you have another way of having activity there throughout the year. Then it's not weather dependent, and of course, obviously too, they want their members instead of going to a different gym to do their workout, they want them to keep coming to the club and access a gym and a workout there too. So great on Glenmore. Good luck with them. Good luck to them on that project. And again, yeah, the fitness center. I think that's another theme that we're seeing clubs adding them or expanding the ones they already have to recognize that it should be more than just a few machines and a few free weights or whatnot.
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot. I mean, this is all stemming from, I shouldn't say all, a great majority of this is stemming from COVID. The increase in memberships, golfers, racket enthusiasts has really boosted up the budgets for these these clubs, these country clubs, and fitness and dining are riding the rail, right? And they're going hard. I know the club that I belong to. I'm not going to say the name. The fitness center is just what you said. It's a little room down in the basement. There was a like a Nautilus machine that had several things, a couple treadmills. Really, that was it. There was not a heck of a lot to it. Uh, I don't know how they'd expand. They'd probably have to build. That particular club would have to add on, but these clubs that can do it are doing it, and it's another excuse, like you said. Get your members away from FitWorks or Lifetime Fitness. Have them, they give up that membership. They're spending more time at your club, their club, and getting more value out of their membership. So it's it's great. I love it.
Yeah, absolutely. And Rob, you must have been peeking at my script because I was to bring up the same point you did. But just to echo that about how, yes, the success that's coming that clubs saw because of COVID and everything, with the golf boom, the pickleball boom. Uh, I think we're starting to see some of those sort of long term effects of it too, in that they're increasing membership, uh, raises revenue. So obviously they can start to put some money into some bigger money projects like this. It made me remember the conversation I had with Jimmy Hanlon, who's he's a PGA golf professional, also hosts 4 golf programs on television, also a radio program on golf. And the two country clubs, golf clubs that he's owner and director of, he told me in that interview back in April that indeed, due to all the success they had seen because of the golf boom, they absolutely were able to do improvements on their golf course much sooner, certainly sooner than he would have anticipated pre-COVID, back when he was looking at, say, 2019. They definitely were able to do things sooner than they had expected, which obviously was a pleasant surprise that came out of that.
I am a member at one of Jimmy's clubs, and
Mhm.
I hate to admit this, but I have not played yet this year. It's middle of June, so I have not seen those improvements. But I'm looking forward to getting out there and experiencing it for myself sooner or later. Right now, I don't know. I'm either the best member or the worst member because I donated money. They
There
have
you
my
go.
money, but I'm not there, so there's not a good chance I'll be back next year. So I don't know. Is that good or bad for them? Probably bad. They want members to be there and get use out of their club and join the year after that, and the year after that, the year after that. So fingers crossed I get out and start playing.
Yeah, there you go. One other one then to jump, one other club, Kings North at Myrtle Beach National in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. They also have a long-term project going. They closed earlier this month to start a comprehensive two-part, 2-year renovation project. Phase one focuses on the front nine of the golf course. It's going to last 4 months. Highlights include renovating and restoring greens to their original size. It's going to reclaim about 30,000 square feet of putting surface. It's going to make them 36% larger, adding pin positions that were eliminated by encroachment over the years. Sounds great. Every bunker on the course will be renovated and have capillary concrete bunker liners installed. Eliminates washout and drastically and improves drainage. So obviously that'll improve playability. So looks great for that. The second stage of that project will be starting next summer, will be an overhaul of the back nine. So again, great to see. And that's I can't remember if I said that or not. That's an Arnold Palmer design golf course, and long been one of the Grand Strand's bedrock layouts. So great on them. Great to see that project beginning, and I'm sure folks down there will enjoy that once it's completed.
Yeah, Brandon Johnson, the architect of choice by the club, is a protege of the King. He had
Hmm.
worked a long time with Arnold Palmer Golf Design, so he knows a thing or two about what Mr. Palmer intended to do out there, what his original plan was. But also, over time, things change. Equipment has gotten better. You and I talked about this. You and I aren't hitting it much farther, but a lot of people are. So I'm sure you can do some tweaks to the golf course that can really keep up with today's golfers. And I challenge people to go on our website, clubresortbusiness.com, and look at the picture that's associated with this article. It's that particular hole is called the Gambler, and I believe it's a par five with an island fairway that makes it shorter to get to the green and two, as opposed to going around the long way, which is going to be a three-shot hole. But how would you play that particular hole? It's the Gambler. It's just one of 18 fantastic holes, and I'm curious, Phil. I'd love to get your opinion at some point. How you think you'd attack that hole? Would you be man enough to go for the island fairway and then try to power a long iron and a 3-wood over to the water?
Well, Rob, what movie you're making me think of is Tin Cup. There's Kevin Costner, who of course is a gambler as a player, and Don Johnson's character. He's on the tour, but he plays it safe all the time. I hate to admit it, most of my life I've been the Don Johnson playing it safe, but who knows? But what the heck? Let's try something new. I'd roll the dice, and especially if you consider maybe this is my only time playing on the course, why not roll the dice and try to land it there on that island fairway and do
You know,
that?
I
It's worth a
played
shot. It's worth a shot because if I actually make it happen, it's a story for a lifetime, right?
that's it.
Right.
I played in a retreat, a Raiders retreat at Turning Stone. And one of the quotes from one of the guys I was playing with, I didn't come all the way to upstate New York to lay up, as he was going
Right.
for a par five and two. Unfortunately, came a little bit short and ended in the schmutz. But that was his that was my takeaway from it. I mean, it's been years since we played that round. I still remember it like it was yesterday. So you know, playing it safe doesn't always get. I've pulled 3 irons into the water.
Yep.
Uh, might as well just blister a driver onto that island green and try to get home in two. If you happen to hit the island fairway and then miss the green, your drop is sometimes not so bad. You can get up and down for par.
Hmm.
It doesn't have to lead to a big score, but that's a curious. I challenge all of our viewers and readers to tell us how they would attack that hole, because it's a beautiful hole, but certainly does present its problems and its challenges.
Absolutely. It would be interesting to hear from some readers and some folks, some pros at clubs around our country, how they would attack that hole, or if they have played it, how they did attack it, if you will.
Yeah, yeah, no kidding. Hey, Phil, before we go too long, I have a tendency to yap, yap, yap. Can you tell us about who our guest is?
Absolutely. Well, here we are in the month of June. Month of June is Women's Golf Month, and we were talking about golf boom, and it's led to a lot of positive trends in the game. One of those very positive trends is that more women than ever are playing golf. With the pandemic surge, um, we had more than 800,000 women in the United States took up golf between 20 and 2022. So, and that brings it, we're up to 6.5 million female golfers. And today, according to the National Golf Foundation, females make up 26% of on-course participants, which is the highest proportion on record since they've kept track of that. So June is Women's Golf Month, and I had a great conversation earlier today with Jennifer Bermingham. She's a PGA, LPGA member, but she's also the director of golf programming for Invited. And Invited has worked with, has a partnership with the LPGA Foundation. I'm sorry, I should have mentioned Invited is an owner operator of private golf and country clubs, the leading one in the country. City clubs, owner operator of those. Invited has partnered with the LPGA Foundation to celebrate Women's Golf Month, and they work together on all kinds of different programs designed to introduce women, instruct women in the game of golf, try to bring greater interest there. It's a great program they have set up too, that kind of a progressive process that occurs, and you'll hear that from Jennifer, have her explain that to us. Great program they have going, and they do have it. There's about 120 invited clubs around the country, and they all are doing this program in some form or fashion. One of the great things that Jennifer did mention that I'll mention here is that they give Invited and the LPGA give these clubs a template, if you will, of how to do this program, with sort of the general categories of what to do. But from there, the head pros and the folks who are running things at each club can design it the way they want to, the way it fits best with their members and guests who come to that club. So it's a great conversation and great way here to spread the word about what Invited is doing for Women's Golf Month here in June.
That's terrific. I know June's halfway over, but that doesn't mean that a club can't pick up some programs in July, August, in next year to keep on growing the game and bringing more girls and women into the sport. So let's get to Jennifer's interview.
Welcome back to Club and Resort Talks. I'm Phil Keren. Well, June is Women's Golf Month. Invited, which is the leading owner operator of private golf and country clubs and city clubs in North America, has partnered with the LPGA Foundation to celebrate Women's Golf Month. Since 2005, Women's Golf Month has promoted the game among women and girls through creative programming and events designed to create a friendlier environment for all golfers. Women's Golf Month is a way to help both casual and avid women players get in the game, build relationships, and contribute to the growth of women's participation in golf. So in celebrating Women's Golf Month, Invited has launched numerous programs at 120 of its clubs in North America, and these programs will run throughout the month of June. So joining me to talk about these programs is Jennifer Bermingham. She's a PGA, LPGA member, and she's the Director of Golf Programming at Invited. Jennifer, welcome to Club and Resort Talks.
Phil, thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate the time.
Oh, you're welcome. My pleasure. First of all, I just want to start off, tell us about what you do in your role with Invited as Director of Golf Programming.
Yeah, I have the privilege of working with all 120 of those country clubs in delivering great member experiences for all of the members at our clubs. We really focus on having a place for every member of the family and every ability level to learn golf at every club. And we do that through our standardized programming. We have our junior golf program that we've internally created called Crush It. We have a beginner golfer, adult learner program called Game On. We have golf schools. We have a scoring university for members to participate in. So really having, a robust offering of available events and programs for all of our members at all of our clubs. So that's my job. I work with our pros to be able to deliver these events, which is great.
Excellent, excellent. So, and then tell us, to kind of lead into that, then why did Invited partner with the LPGA Foundation to celebrate and observe Women's Golf Month?
Well, first, why wouldn't we? The LPGA Foundation is amazing. They are industry leaders in engaging girls and women in the game of golf. Their LPGA USGA Girls Golf Program has over 1 million girls. It's really been a huge part of the growth of girls in the game. When I was a kid, there was only about 15% of juniors were girls in 2000, and now that number has gotten up to 37%, and a lot of that is contributed to the girls golf program. And they've had to invite her in the past, and when I heard they were going to be relaunching it in 2024, I just thought the power of invitation is so powerful. You just think, Phil, like, think of the last time you got invited to something. Like, doesn't that make you so excited? And it's more than an event. It's more than a program. It really is a movement of trying to get more women engaged in the game.
And on that point too, and I noted that percentage, that's an amazing jump as far as the junior golfers. And so in year 2000, 15% of junior golfers were female. And now it stands at 37% today. It's a excellent progress. But on that point, I imagine there still are barriers for women and girls to get into the game of golf. Can you talk about what some of those are and how, I guess, this program is hoping to address that?
That's a great question. And I could not agree more. There are so many barriers when it comes to getting not just women, but anyone engaged in the game, right? It's golf is hard. I don't have clubs to do it with. I don't have a friend to do it with. I don't know. I'm not allowed on the golf course. When our programming, Invite Her, or even our Game On program, really tries to address all of those barriers, and try and make it as inclusive, warm, welcoming environment as possible. I would say the number one barrier that I always try to eliminate is connection, is really trying to make sure that new player has other friends, other members, other people that they can do it with, and they can learn together.
That makes sense because sure, golf is definitely a social game, and people make friendships, build friendships, keep them going. It's funny you mentioned that too, because you actually cued a memory for me as a junior golfer growing up. I recall going to my country club, Michigan, and I was probably about 7 or 8 years old. I had not started playing golf yet. And I was with my parents sort of caddying for my dad. And the idea of me golfing at that age never crossed my mind until one day we went, and one of my friends from school was there. He had a little golf bag. And I thought, oh, I could do this too. So even on that just note alone, that connection happened. Until then, I didn't even envision the idea that, that golf was for me at the age of, I think it was about 8 then, because I know I started playing at age 9. So
everything's more fun when you got somebody to do it with. When you have a friend to do it with, especially with our Invite Her, you can go to the bar and have a drink at the end. It just makes it social and not as intimidating.
Absolutely. So then with that, I know with Women's Golf Month here and the different programs with Invited, I know the primary program, as we were talking about before we came on, is that there's a program called #InviteHer campaign. Tell us about that and the various aspects of it.
Yeah, so the #InviteHer is one of the programs that falls under the LPGA Foundation that Invited's partnering. We're really trying to engage them, all of our clubs and all of our members, in 4 different events. So our goal is really to say, hey, I'm going to grab you by the hand if you've never played before, or you need to get re-engaged, and come try golf with me. And so really allow that opportunity for members to learn together. There's 4 events that we're really focusing on for Invite Her across all of our clubs. And I really strategically place them in order, because I want to take that brand new player on a journey. I want to take them, from never playing before to really gaining the confidence to end up as a golfer for life. So our plan is week 1, which already has happened, and we've already activated at a very, very great rate. It's a ride along. So right along with your pro, you can learn how to turn on the golf cart, drive the golf cart, pull the flag out of the hole, tee it up for the first time. Just be there. You don't have to, you're not drowning in the deep end. Just being a part of the crew, of the girl, being one of the girls. So that's week 1 is our ride along. And then week 2, we want to continue that with the momentum of those newly engaged participants, newly engaged women in the game, to our Look Like a Golfer event, which is like a trunk show. All right, we got you excited about it. Let's get you the gear. Let's get you looking good. And we partnered with a lot of our great vendors. I know Callaway and Travis Matthew have been really great partners in the Look Like a Golfer event to, really get our women styling and feeling confident and comfortable out on the golf course. And then week 3 is Ready, Set, Golf. It's a clinic where we, allow that new player to kind of hone in on some of their skills. And then that 4th week, we've gotten them comfortable. We got them dressing the part. We got their skills down. Let's go out for an on-course event in our Let's Play experience. So, it really allows them after those 4 weeks to be in a really good place to continue in the game and hopefully join our Game On program where we can keep them engaged, loving golf, meeting friends, and having a great time.
Great. Well, and it's interesting listening to that because I have to say I really like the way the progression works. You started off with, because we're going to start with the, I like the idea of starting off the assumption the person's never been on a golf course. They don't understand what's going on. As we know, there's a lot of rules about golf course. You got to be on the cart path. You got to, maybe today is a 90-degree angle turn day with the carts and this and that. There's a lot of rules about just moving around the golf course, navigating it. And of course, as we know, you don't really want to draw attention to yourself by not knowing what's going on as far as that's concerned. So lots of rules and everything. I think that's a great idea to started with that before they even start swinging a golf club. And yeah, I think the apparel, that's a great idea as well. That's where the clothes look the part. Again, you don't want to draw attention to yourself by not having some, I don't know, something different looking, something that doesn't quite fit with what people want.
Phil, I always think fake it till you make it. You look the part, you're brand new players on the driving range hitting balls, but they look the part. They got the clubs. They're styling. They're going to blend in. They're going to fit in. Somebody's going to be like, who's that on the driving range?
Right.
And make them feel comfortable right from the start.
Yeah, absolutely. So that helps. I mean, and it does. Between learning how to get around the golf course and having the clothing, the apparel, that goes a long ways. You're already very much ahead of the game. And then the clinic to learn some of the basics, and then heading out on the golf course and kind of putting it all together makes sense. So tell me too, in general, what kind of, I assume you hear feedback from people that take part in this program. What kind of feedback do you hear from them about it?
I mean, it's been fantastic so far. I was last week I was in Sacramento and I was at Granite Bay Golf Club, just north of Sacramento. And one of our PDPs there, Meredith Lobeck, who's actually an LPGA professional, she was hosting her Invite Her event the day I was there, and I got to see it in action. And she set up 30. There's probably 30, 40 ladies there. She set them all up on a chair on the driving range, and she started the day with a little clinic where they could ask any question. What do they need to do out on the golf course? There was even that time where the members could have that safe space where they could ask any questions. And then after the driving range demonstration, they all went out and played in a scramble format, fun, met new friends. They all had the outfits. It was beautiful. And then they all came in for a little luncheon at the end, which was awesome to see. It was just so social, so fun. It was like, I just want to be a part of that.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So tell me then, well, and you just mentioned one of those programs, but are there other interesting approaches to the programs that are happening at some of invited clubs around the country for Women's Golf Month?
Yeah, and that's what's kind of unique about the way that we place our our standardized programming is we give them the template and they have the opportunity to elevate, and make it their own, and give their own unique footprint for their club and their unique experience. TPC Craig Ranch hosts the Byron Nelson on the PGA Tour. They made Invite Her polo shirts for every participant. So they not only have a great memory of the day, they have a takeaway and they have something to wear. that reminds them that they are that golfer for life. Ravinia Green, I was actually there earlier this week in Chicago. They had an amazing play day where they activated their Ladies Golf Association, and they had all of their ladies invite a friend to come with them, to play with them that day. And it was an amazing experience. Everyone was having a great time. So it's really, really cool to see the activations across the entire company. I could go on and on.
Yeah, there you go. As I understand it too, then, so this is all part of a program called Game On, then, to take an even bigger picture, excuse me, view of it. Is that correct? And can you tell us about Game On a little bit more too?
Yeah, Game On is our adult beginner golfer program. So for me, Game On or Invite Her is the gateway for players to then end up in Game On. So Game On is a 3-step program that really takes that brand new golfer on a journey where they can learn. There's curriculum laid out for our clubs to be able to, make sure the member is learning the game, tracking their progress and progressing through the game. Everything's game based. Everything is group. So they can be able to have that group of members that they can learn with and, become friends with.
Okay, excellent. So, and I know I was checking some of the information too on our news release that you had sent us from Invited. Quite progress. It's according to the National Golf Foundation now, females account for 26% of on-course participants, which I guess is the highest proportion on record and the largest growth. I'm sorry, that group is the largest growth group since 2019 as well. So great news to see. Are there any, one thing that occurred to me as we were talking about this, does Invited and the LPGA Foundation, as you work together on this, do you have specific numerical quantitative goals like that as far as, wanting to have a certain percentage by this year or that year, that kind of a thing?
I don't necessarily think we've ever gotten that deep. I just think it's a win-win. The LPGA has over 2,000 highly trained LPGA professionals, and many of them are actually our coaches at our clubs, which is awesome. So I just think it's a win-win when we partner with the LPGA. They have their Million Girls campaign for the LPGA USGA Girls Golf Program. Obviously, they have goals in activating as many women as possible through Invite Her. But I think that the more that we can continue to work together, because we all have that same mission. I mean, the women's segment in golf is growing at the fastest rate of any other segments. So, it's great to see the engagement of more and more women.
Okay, very good. So if people wanted to find out more, well, I guess as I started off, there was 120 invited clubs in North America. So if people wanted to find out if there was a club near them that is an invited club, how would they go about doing that?
The easiest way to go about doing that is going on our website, which is invitedclubs.com. And at the top, there's a find a club link, and you just put in your zip code and it'll show you all of the clubs near you.
Okay. Just enter the zip code there and you should be able to find if you have an invited club near you. One other question occurred to me, Jennifer. So we were talking about June here being Women's Golf Month, and we're talking about the program that with Invite Her and everything, and it week by week goes through it. Do some of these invited clubs, do they do this program then throughout the year, or is it only in June, or does it happen in other months as well in addition here to June?
Well, with June being National Women's Golf Month, we want to make sure we're activating at a high rate in June, but we have clubs activating Invite Her. We have clubs activating Game On and all of our standardized programming across the entire year. So again, go check out each individual club and they'll be able to give you their programming calendar.
Right. Okay.
But we do have Invite Her, can be engaged year round.
Okay. Very good. And as well as you said earlier too, people or the clubs, of course, like you said, you sort of give them the template, and they're able to figure out which approach, which strategies work best for them in rolling out the program and implementing it, if you will. So excellent. Well, Jennifer, I appreciate your time. This is a great program that's going on with Invited and the LPGA Foundation. Looks like it's doing a great job bringing more women to the game, more participation in golf. As we know, during COVID, we saw sort of a golf boom as it is among a lot of demographic groups. And it's great to see, though, that this program is doing this and helping to bring more women to the game, interested in the game. And hopefully we're going to see a lot more lifelong players, which is the ultimate goal here, right?
Yeah, Phil, I really appreciate you bringing awareness to not only what Invited's doing, but also the Invite Her campaign, because the more women we can get engaged in the game, I'm super passionate about growing the game. And this is legitimately how we do it. So I really appreciate the time and the spotlight as well.
Great. Thank you, Jennifer. Thanks for joining us. And I do want to let everybody know, of course, as always, with our Club and Resort Talks podcast, you can visit clubandresortbusiness.com to see this podcast and other ones and check it out. As always, Rob Thomas and I, of course, have a new Club and Resort Talks podcast that publishes usually every Friday. So check it out again there at clubandresortbusiness.com. Take care, stay well, and have a great day.